So now, as I said at the beginning, I'll read the audience questions myself based on the transcript. The first question comes from someone I don't know personally, so I haven't been able to contact him and get permission to share his voice, but this was the question. Just when you raise these issues with the students, your, I guess, clients would be the correct word, yeah? Do they agree? Or do they say, oh no, that's not a real problem, everyone's doing it, it's fine? Are you saying, but this is going to give you a bad product? And here's what I answered.
I get different responses. I get, so some of the people that I work with are very, very particular about making sure the reality gets reflected in the text. And so they'd rather not use than use, and only use it to learn, like when we're doing scientific writing practice and exercises, for me to create for them some exercises that are in their lane. So they want for language practice, but not for the real thing. And then some people come to me and say, Joanna, there wasn't time, I had to. Now help me fix it. Yeah, so it's not that they want to cheat, it's that it's just the pressures of life.
The second question came from Jeremy Beacock, who works at the British Council in Taiwan. I met Jeremy at the talk, and it was his comment and question that started a conversation that's now continuing via email. I do have his permission to share his bit, but I'll read his comment and question from the transcript just to stay consistent with all the questions I got. So here it goes. Jeremy said, thank you, very interesting. Your experience matches very closely my experience working in Taiwan with medical researchers who face exactly the same problems and also undergo the debate. I mean, one of my students is actually a research leader writing papers, and she did her own experiment pretty similar to yours, and her conclusion was, if you don't already know how to do the research, it's not really a shortcut. Even if you do use it, at the moment, it requires so much checking that you might as well do it yourself. So I just wanted to say that first. But my actual question was related to the earlier part of the talk, where you outlined a number of issues that especially early-stage researchers face. How many of those do you think are linguistic versus the kind of conceptual problems that even native speakers have?
The answer, you have the answer in my choice of examples, yeah, some of the answer. So it goes beyond the language, it goes into the exercise of thinking thinking scientifically, yeah, having some rigor and thinking through and then writing or speaking, not to impress an audience, but to inform, to raise a question, to challenge an argument, that sort of thing. And that can be done. You don't have to wait to be a medical researcher and do your PhD. It can be done much earlier in school, yeah, high school, university.
And there was one more question from someone I didn't get a chance to talk to after the talk, so I don't know her name. The question goes, what's your experience of researchers who write their article completely in Romanian and then use AI to translate?
Thank you for asking that. Probably not so much the language, but the culture. So writing it in Romanian makes you think in certain ways, develop the argument in certain ways, and it's not necessarily writing for clarity. And then it's the translation, it requires a lot of editing. So this is an example of, this is the one that had to be published in 2 weeks. Yeah? This is with track changes, and these are my comments on the side. Yeah? So I find like actually the peer review process can be flipped into a learning experience by doing lots and lots and lots of annotations, but the translation is actually sometimes more torturous You have to start writing again. Fortunately, the scientists that are in it for the real thing, not just for like points and promotion, but just like really interested in science, they see that, and we start rebuilding the article with the content that is in Romanian, but not necessarily the text. Yeah. And it turns into a very interesting long-term collaboration that stretches across years. Yeah. That's why I became a freelancer. Yes.
Questions?
Yeah. So if you're interested in more in getting in touch, I'll do that. Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity.